The Alliance's mistake. The massive Alliance flagship, Eternal Dominion, emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system, its gleaming hull reflecting the distant sun as it glided majestically past Neptune's orbit. The vessel was a marvel of engineering, a city-sized spacecraft housing representatives from 36 advanced civilizations that comprised the Galactic Alliance. Behind it, a fleet of warships followed in perfect formation, weapons dormant but ready. On Earth, humanity watched with a mixture of awe and apprehension. After centuries of wondering if they were alone in the universe, the answer had arrived in spectacular fashion. The United Earth Defense Force maintained a cautious defensive posture, but Earth's leaders had chosen diplomacy over confrontation, extending messages of peace and cooperation. Admiral Helena Reyes stood on the bridge of the UED flagship Intrepid, watching the approaching alien armada on the main view screen. Her weathered face remained composed, but her eyes betrayed her concern. "Status report," she commanded, her voice steady despite the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. "The Alliance flagship has acknowledged our transmission, Admiral," replied Lieutenant Commander Jackson. "They're requesting permission to send a diplomatic envoy to Earth. The United Nations Security Council has already approved." Reyes nodded. "Very well. Let's hope they come in peace." What humanity didn't know was that their first contact was anything but random. The Alliance had been observing Earth for decades, monitoring human development with growing unease. In the Grand Council chamber of the Eternal Dominion, heated debates had raged for months before this mission was approved. "They progressed too quickly," insisted Grand Marshal Zaxos, the reptilian military leader whose species had helped found the Alliance millennia ago. His scales shimmered under the chamber's soft lighting as he gestured at the holographic display showing Earth's technological advancement timeline. From primitive flight to early interplanetary exploration in less than 2 centuries. It took my people 8 centuries to achieve similar progress. Ambassador Lyra, a tall, elegant being with luminescent skin that shifted colors with her emotions, countered, "That is precisely why we should welcome them as allies rather than view them as threats. Their innovative capacity could benefit all Alliance members, or doom us all," Zaxos replied, his voice dropping to a dangerous whisper. "Have you studied their history? They've nearly eradicated themselves multiple times. They develop weapons faster than the ethical frameworks to control them. They are chaos incarnate." The Supreme Consul, an ancient being whose species had evolved beyond physical form, pulsed gently in its containment field, its thoughts projected directly into the minds of all present. "We will observe first, meet with their leaders, assess the threat directly before making our final decision." The diplomatic meetings proceeded over 3 Earth days. Humans showcased their achievements, their art, their music, their scientific discoveries, all while unaware of the growing consensus among the Alliance leadership. With each demonstration of human ingenuity, with each explanation of how quickly humans had overcome technological hurdles that had stymied other species for generations, the Alliance representatives grew more concerned rather than impressed. On the 4th day, the decision was made. In a secure chamber aboard the Eternal Dominion, Grand Marshal Zaxos addressed the War Council. "The vote is complete. 29 species support containment measures, 7 oppose. The decision is final." Ambassador Lyra's skin had turned a deep blue of mourning. "They have shown us nothing but peace. This goes against everything the Alliance stands for. We protect the galaxy from threats," Zaxos countered. "And we have never encountered a species with such dangerous potential. The mathematical models are clear. Within 3 centuries, they would surpass us. We cannot allow that." The attack came without warning. Alliance warships suddenly activated their weapons systems and opened fire on Earth's orbital defenses. The bombardment was precise and devastating. Within hours, 60% of Earth's defense fleet was destroyed or disabled. Admiral Reyes watched in horror as the Intrepid shields failed under the onslaught of weapons far beyond human capability. "All hands, "Abandon ship," she ordered, seconds before a plasma beam cut through the vessel's command deck. On Earth, panic spread as the reality of an alien invasion became clear. Cities weren't targeted. The Alliance wasn't interested in genocide, but all military installations and defense systems were methodically destroyed. The Alliance's message was broadcast globally. Earth would be quarantined, human development contained and monitored, for the safety of the galaxy. President Elisa Santos addressed the United Nations from an underground bunker beneath Geneva. "This unprovoked attack on humanity will not stand," she declared, her voice firm despite the chaos surrounding her. "We extended a hand of friendship, and they responded with violence. But they have underestimated us. Humanity will never accept subjugation." What the Alliance didn't know, what even most of humanity didn't know, was that Earth had an ace up its sleeve. In a hidden facility beneath the Pacific Ocean, Captain Ilara Chen rushed through reinforced corridors as alarms blared. The slender woman of Chinese descent moved with the confidence of someone who had spent her life preparing for crisis. Her dark eyes were focused, determined, as she entered the command center of the most secret project in human history. "Status report," she demanded, echoing Admiral Raya's words from hours earlier. Dr. Marcus Wallace, chief scientist of Project Phoenix, looked up from his console. The lanky physicist had aged a decade in the past few hours. "The Alliance hit us hard, Captain. Most of the defense fleet is gone. But they don't know about us. The facility's shielding held." Chen nodded, surveying the room. "And the ship?" "The ESF Phoenix is ready," Wallace confirmed. "All systems operational. The quantum displacement drive is online." "And the crew?" "All 27 members are aboard and at their stations." Captain Chen took a deep breath. Project Phoenix had been humanity's insurance policy, a revolutionary starship built with technology that leapfrogged current human development by decades. Most of it had been reverse-engineered from a crashed alien vessel discovered in Antarctica 50 years earlier. The ship had been intended as humanity's first true deep space explorer, but now it would serve a different purpose. "Initiate launch sequence," Chen ordered, striding toward the access tunnel that would take her to the Phoenix. "We're going hunting." The ESS Phoenix looked nothing like conventional human spacecraft. Its sleek obsidian hull seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Its shape was reminiscent of a manta ray, with sweeping wings housing advanced sensor arrays and weapons systems that Earth's public military could only dream about. Chen settled into the captain's chair on the bridge, surveying her crew. They were the best humanity had to offer. Scientists, engineers, and soldiers chosen not just for their skills, but for their adaptability and creative thinking. "Captain on deck," announced Commander David Okafor, her second in command. "At ease," Chen replied. "You all know what's happened. The Alliance believed they could judge us based on our past and condemn us for our potential future. They thought they could contain us, control us." She paused, making eye contact with each bridge officer. They were wrong. Lieutenant Sofia Mendez, tactical officer, spoke up. "The Alliance fleet has established a blockade around Earth, Captain. 27 warships in high orbit. Their flagship remains at the edge of the system. They think they've won," Chen said. "That's our advantage. Navigator, plot a course out of the solar system using conventional drives only. No quantum displacement until we're past Pluto. We need to assess their capabilities before we engage." "Aye, Captain," responded Lieutenant Commander Riley Kim, the ship's navigator. "Course plotted. Estimated time to Pluto's orbit. 6 hours at maximum conventional speed. Execute," Chen ordered, "and engage stealth systems." The Phoenix emerged silently from its underwater hangar, rising through the ocean depths without creating so much as a ripple on the surface. Its revolutionary hull material absorbed all sensor scans, making it virtually invisible to both conventional radar and the Alliance's advanced detection systems. As the ship accelerated away from Earth, Dr. Diana Patel, the ship's chief science officer, monitored the Alliance vessels. "Fascinating," she murmured. "Their technology is advanced, but not incomprehensibly so. I'm detecting energy signatures similar to our theoretical models for plasma confinement and manipulation." "Can you identify any weaknesses?" Chen asked. "Not yet," Patil admitted, "but their communications rely on a form of quantum entanglement. Very efficient, but potentially vulnerable to targeted disruption." Chen nodded thoughtfully. "Keep analyzing. We need every advantage we can get." For 6 hours, the Phoenix slipped silently past the Alliance blockade. The crew watched in grim silence as Alliance ships methodically neutralized Earth's remaining orbital defenses and established control points around the planet. Once they passed Pluto's orbit, Chen gave the order they'd all been waiting for. "Engage quantum displacement drive. Let's show these aliens what humanity can really do." The Phoenix shimmered momentarily before disappearing completely from normal space. Unlike conventional faster-than-light theories that involved warping space or creating wormholes, the quantum displacement drive briefly shifted the entire ship into an adjacent quantum reality before reappearing at the targeted coordinates. The ship reappeared directly behind the Eternal Dominion. "Weapons hot," Chen ordered calmly. "Target their primary propulsion systems. Fire when ready." The Phoenix unleashed a barrage of quantum-phase torpedoes that passed straight through the Alliance flagship shields as if they weren't there. The explosions rocked the massive vessel, disabling its main engines. Before the Alliance could respond, the Phoenix vanished again, reappearing seconds later amidst the blockade around Earth. 2 more Alliance warships suffered critical damage before the others could even register the attack. Then the Phoenix was gone again, leaving bewildered and frightened Alliance commanders in its wake. In the Grand Council chamber of the damaged Eternal Dominion, Grand Marshal Zaxos stared in disbelief at the tactical display. "Impossible," he whispered. "They couldn't have this technology. Our models indicated they were at least a century away from quantum manipulation on this scale." Ambassador Lyra's skin had shifted to the bright orange of vindication. "I warned you not to underestimate them. Now we've provoked them into revealing capabilities we never anticipated." The Supreme Consul's energy field pulsed with concern. "Find that ship. Destroy it. Before it's too late." But the hunt for the Phoenix had only just begun, and humanity was about to teach the Alliance a lesson they would never forget. The turning point. For 3 weeks, the ESF Phoenix waged a guerrilla war against the Alliance fleet. The ship would appear without warning, strike with devastating precision, and vanish before the Alliance could mount an effective response. With each engagement, Captain Ilara Chen and her crew learned more about their enemy's capabilities and limitations. Their shield technology relies on predictable energy harmonics, Dr. Diana Patil explained during a strategy session in the Phoenix's conference room. The holographic display showed detailed schematics of Alliance defensive systems gleaned from their attacks. Once we identified the frequency patterns, bypassing them became relatively simple. Commander David Okafor leaned forward, studying the display. "And their weapons? Impressive but conventional," Lieutenant Sofia Mendez replied. "Advanced plasma-based technology primarily. Their targeting systems are exceptional, but they're designed to track objects moving in normal space." Chen nodded thoughtfully. "And that's been our greatest advantage. They can't hit what they can't predict." She turned to Dr. Patil. "What about their communications network? Any progress on that front?" Patil's eyes lit up with excitement. "Significant progress. Actually, we've identified their central communication hub. It's aboard their flagship. If we could get close enough, I believe we could implant a virus in their quantum entanglement network. It wouldn't just disrupt their communications. It could potentially give us access to their entire database." A contemplative silence fell over the room as the implications sank in. Access to the Alliance's database meant learning their strategies, their technologies, perhaps even finding allies among the minority of species that had voted against attacking Earth. That would require boarding the Eternal Dominion, Okafor pointed out. "Even with our stealth capabilities, that's an enormous risk." Chen's expression remained calm, but a familiar fire burned in her eyes. The same determination that had made her the unanimous choice to command humanity's most advanced ship. Sometimes the greatest risk offers the greatest reward. Commander, let's develop a plan. Meanwhile, across the solar system, the Alliance's confidence had been severely shaken. In the 3 weeks since the appearance of the mysterious human vessel, they had lost 8 warships and another 12 had sustained significant damage. The blockade around Earth remained in place, but the Alliance fleet was growing increasingly paranoid, sometimes firing on sensor ghosts and false positives. Grand Marshal Zaxos had taken personal command of the hunt for the Phoenix. His reputation and career now hinged on eliminating this human threat. In his private command center aboard the Eternal Dominion, he reviewed the latest reports with growing frustration. How can one ship cause so much chaos? He demanded of his tactical officers. We are the Alliance. 36 species with thousands of years of combined technological development. A junior officer cautiously spoke up. Sir, we've analyzed the attack patterns. The human ship appears to be using some form of quantum displacement technology that we've only theorized about. They're not just moving through space. They're temporarily shifting between quantum realities. Zaxos' scales darkened with rage. Impossible. Our intelligence indicated humans were nowhere near that level of advancement. The evidence suggests otherwise. Sir, the officer replied. And each time they attack, they adapt to our countermeasures before we can implement them. It's as if they're learning our technology faster than we can use it. The Grand Marshal slammed his fist on the console. Double the defensive patrols around this ship. I want quantum detection fields at maximum power. That human vessel will make a mistake eventually, and when it does, we'll be ready. What Zaxos didn't realize was that Captain Chen was counting on exactly this response. The Phoenix had been deliberately establishing a pattern, attacking Alliance vessels further and further from the flagship, drawing their attention and defensive resources outward. The trap was set. Now it was time to spring it. All hands, battle stations, Chen announced over the ship-wide comm. Phase 1 of Operation Trojan begins in 5 minutes. The Phoenix materialized in the midst of a debris field, the remains of an Alliance patrol vessel they had disabled days earlier. Using the wreckage as additional sensor cover, they drifted silently toward the Eternal Dominion. Their defensive grid is exactly where we predicted, reported Lieutenant Mendez. Heavy concentration of patrols at these 4 vectors. The tactical display highlighted the patrol routes. And the gap we created? Chen asked. Holding steady, Captain. We have a 5-minute window to approach undetected. Chen nodded. Navigator, take us in. Nice and easy. The Phoenix slipped through the gap in the Alliance's defensive screen, approaching the underside of the massive flagship where sensor coverage was thinnest. Once in position, Chief Engineer Lieutenant Commander Hiroshi Tanaka activated a specialized device developed specifically for this mission. Quantum bubble deployed, he reported. We're now operating in a microscopically offset quantum state. To their sensors, we're essentially merged with their hull, indistinguishable from their own ship. Chen turned to the boarding team. 6 specialists equipped with adaptive camouflage suits that would allow them to move through the Alliance vessel undetected. Dr. Patel would lead them, with Lieutenant Mendez providing security. Remember, Chen told them, this is an intelligence operation, not an assault. Get to their central communication hub, implant the virus, and get out. The quantum bubble will only hold for 40 minutes. Patel nodded, her expression resolute. We'll get it done, Captain. The boarding party transferred through a specialized airlock that created a temporary quantum tunnel between the Phoenix and the Eternal Dominion. Once aboard, they moved silently through the alien vessel, their suits automatically adjusting to match the surrounding environment. The interior of the Alliance flagship was a marvel of engineering. Vast chambers and corridors designed to accommodate the various physiologies of dozens of different species. The team carefully avoided the busier sections, using maintenance tunnels and service corridors to make their way toward the central hub. "This architecture is fascinating," Patel whispered as they passed through a gravity transition zone, where the ship's artificial gravity shifted to accommodate different species' needs. "Their engineering is elegant, but not fundamentally different from our theoretical models." Less admiring, more focusing on the mission, Mendez replied tersely, her weapon ready as she took point. They encountered their first real obstacle at a secured doorway leading to the communication sector. Two guards, massive four-armed beings with crystalline exoskeletons, stood watch. "We can't risk using weapons," Mendez murmured. "The energy discharge would trigger alarms." Patil smiled. "We don't need weapons." She removed a small device from her pack and activated it. The device emitted a subsonic pulse that caused the crystalline beings visible discomfort. When they moved away from their posts to investigate, the team slipped through the door. The central communication hub was a wonder of technology, a spherical chamber with a dense network of quantum filaments converging at a central processing core. Patil immediately went to work, connecting their virus delivery system to an access port. "This is incredible," she breathed. "Their quantum network is far more sophisticated than we realized. But the underlying principles..." She worked quickly, fingers dancing across her portable interface. "There. Upload beginning." On the bridge of the Phoenix, Chen watched the mission timer with growing tension. 25 minutes elapsed, she noted. They should be initiating the upload now. As if on cue, Lieutenant Commander Riley Kim reported, "Captain, we're detecting a surge in quantum communication activity. I think they've succeeded." Before Chen could respond, alarm klaxons suddenly blared through the Phoenix. "We've been detected," shouted Tanaka. "Something's destabilizing the quantum bubble." Chen didn't hesitate. "Prepare for emergency extraction of the boarding party. Weapons, target the flagship's sensor arrays. Prepare to give them something bigger to worry about than us." Aboard the Eternal Dominion, the boarding party found themselves in sudden danger as security alerts activated throughout the ship. "Upload at 70%, Patil reported urgently. "We need 3 more minutes." "We might not have 3 minutes," Mendez replied, taking up a defensive position as the sound of approaching guards echoed through the corridor. In his command center, Grand Marshal Zaxos received the alert with savage satisfaction. "We have them. The human vessel is attached to our hull using some form of quantum phase technology. Deploy the countermeasures." But as Alliance security forces converged on the communication hub, something unexpected happened. Every screen, every display, every communication device throughout the flagship suddenly activated, showing the same image. A detailed schematic of the Eternal Dominion with critical systems highlighted. Then a human voice, Captain Chen's, addressed the entire Alliance fleet. "Attention Alliance forces. This is Captain Ilara Chen of the Earth ship Phoenix. Your quantum communication network now belongs to us. We have complete access to your tactical systems, your life support, your propulsion. We could destroy your flagship with a single command." On the bridge of the Phoenix, Chen continued her broadcast, her voice steady and authoritative. "But unlike you, we did not come to destroy. We came to deliver a message. Humanity will not be contained. We will not be controlled. And we are not the threat you fear." She nodded to Kim, who activated another part of the virus. Throughout the Alliance fleet, weapons systems suddenly powered down and entered diagnostic mode. Temporarily disabled but not permanently damaged. "We have demonstrated our capabilities," Chen continued. "We could have destroyed your fleet, yet we chose restraint. Now you must choose. Continue this unnecessary war against a species that sought only peaceful contact, or recognize humanity as equals and begin again with diplomacy." In the Grand Council chamber, chaos erupted as Alliance leaders realized the extent of the human infiltration. Their most secure systems had been compromised, their most advanced technology neutralized. And yet, the humans had not pressed their advantage to destroy them. Ambassador Lyra's skin glowed with the deep green of revelation. Don't you see? They've proven exactly what I argued from the beginning. Despite our aggression, they show restraint. They seek understanding, not dominance. The Supreme Consul's energy field pulsed with rapid fluctuations, the equivalent of deep contemplation. After a long moment, its thoughts projected to all present. We have misjudged them. Gravely. Grand Marshal Zaxos stood in stunned silence, his military career effectively over, as the reality of the situation sank in. An entire Alliance fleet neutralized by a single human ship. Not because human technology was inherently superior, but because humans had learned and adapted at a pace no Alliance species could match. On the Phoenix, Chen received the communication she had been waiting for. Captain, we're receiving a transmission from the Alliance flagship. They're requesting a ceasefire and offering to open diplomatic channels. A small smile touched Chen's lips. Tell them we accept. The boarding party returned safely to the Phoenix, their mission accomplished beyond all expectations. Dr. Patel was practically bouncing with excitement. Captain, the data we've acquired, it's beyond valuable. Their scientific database alone will advance our understanding by decades. Chen nodded. And more importantly, they now understand that humanity cannot be dismissed or contained. We have earned our place at the galactic table. 3 days later, Captain Chen represented humanity at the first true diplomatic summit between Earth and the Alliance. The terms were straightforward. The blockade would be lifted immediately. Reparations would be paid for the damage done to Earth's defenses, and humanity would be offered provisional membership in the Alliance, with full voting rights. As Chen prepared to return to Earth with the historic agreement, Ambassador Lyra approached her privately. Your ship, your technology, they're remarkable. But they're not what truly frightens us about humanity. Chen raised an eyebrow. Oh, it's your adaptability, Lyra explained, her skin shifting to thoughtful blue. The way you learn, the way you overcome obstacles that would stop other species for generations. The Phoenix isn't the most advanced ship in the galaxy by any objective measure, but in the hands of humans, she trailed off, her meaning clear. Chen smiled. Perhaps that's something the Alliance can learn from us, just as we have much to learn from you. Adaptation isn't just about survival, it's about growth. As the Phoenix returned to Earth, carrying news of humanity's newfound status in the galactic community, Captain Chen reflected on the strange journey that had brought them here. The Alliance had attacked out of fear of what humanity might become. In doing so, they had forced humanity to become exactly that. But they had also created the opportunity for something better than dominance. Understanding. Partnership. A future where humans and aliens might learn from each other rather than fear each other. The Alliance had declared war on humanity, and a single ship had forced them to beg for peace. But in that peace lay the potential for greatness neither side could have achieved alone. The stars had never looked brighter.